Mother Clare, there always seems to be some kind of conflict between science and spirituality, where one part doesn't quite mesh with the other. Does science and spirituality really work hand in hand, or are there limitations?
Real science and spirituality, or shall we say, real science and the laws of the universe, absolutely have to line up. There is no way that the spiritual truths cannot be aligned and right with the scientific truths. God created the universe, and creation, it was made according to scientific laws. Not being a scientist myself, I can't quote a lot of those, but for some basics. For example, the law of cause and effect is a law of science, and yet it is the most basic law in the spiritual world. It is the law of karma, of us experiencing the results of our actions, whether it's in this life or the next life or future lives. It is in Christianity spoken of by Jesus, quote, "As you sow, so you shall reap," which again is actually using an image from nature. If you sow seeds of carrots, you're not going to reap radishes. There is no way. So it is in life exactly the same way. What we sow with our actions, our words, our thoughts, we will reap precisely those things in return, not something radically different. Another law that is used in philosophy, given by the ancient Greeks, of as above, so below, is in science more spoken of the microcosm and the macrocosm, and we see so beautifully how patterns from the macrocosm translate into the microcosm, how what we see in a telescope is similar to what we see through a microscope and what we see with our bare eyes. So the patterns translate absolutely throughout the material world, and they carry down precisely the same in the spiritual world. What applies above applies below. The laws of the heaven worlds, of the spiritual world, absolutely carry over into the physical realm. So science and real spirituality must be absolutely aligned. There is no way they can be truly out of line. Now, they may appear so briefly, but not for that long when you look more deeply. They carry forward, well, I'll say another one, the nature abhors a vacuum. In science, we see that a vacuum is never really tolerated in nature. If there's a vacuum, something needs to go into it. It's exactly the same within us. If we clear something out of our minds or hearts, our spirits, then there's a vacuum there, and quickly something else will flow into it. So we teach people that they need to fill those spaces consciously, or something they don't wish will move into it. Jesus spoke about the house that was full of, that housed a demon, and someone came and cleared the demon out, and 7 other demons were walking by and saw the cleared out house and moved in. So that would be the principle of nature abhors a vacuum. So everywhere when you find true principles of spirituality, you'll see how they directly correspond with nature. It is all one. It is the same. And the principles and truths of one will definitely apply in the other.